here to learn.
My name's Pranav. I've been working on a sonar detector for the past week, and I got it to work this morning with the code from GitHub.
Nice.
I'm just working with Pranav. We got this kit last week, so kind of just started with that and playing with it and see what works and playing with the coding that happens on this. So just understanding, learning it together.
You're Deepa?
I'm Deepak, yes. Sorry. Yeah, Deepak.
Yeah, I'm John, not working on anything. I did get a little tiny fan for my Raspberry Pi that came as part of a power supply kit or something like that. I thought that was really, really clever how small they made that fan for that.
This sits right on the processor?
Yeah.
And thank you, Leroy, for the metallic geared motor. he helped a lot over the past week kind of in terms of figuring out some of these things.
Yeah, I was actually very productive this week. It's not normal.
Yeah.
I'm Kenny. I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
Got nothing going.
Sean, I've been working on modifying 3D printers to do experiments like biology experiments. Just working on like 3D printing some of the parts for it now. So I brought some of those in.
Cool.
If you want to see them later.
3D printing parts for healthcare, biology, you said, or
Eventually, that's the eventual goal. Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You have a 3D printing machine with you?
Yeah. Well, my goal is to hack RepRaps to be able to do biology experiments.
What's a rep rack?
RepRap. It's
Rep rack.
It's kind of an open source 3D printer
Okay.
platform
Very
based
famous.
off the Prusa.
Open source.
Yeah. So the code, it's like Arduino code. I have to hack it to do what I want it to do.
I have a Prusa. It's still in the box to be assembled.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the fun part.
I bought it months ago, but I haven't had time to assemble.
Okay.
I'm Jim, and my thing last week was we had the mailbox robbery again. This time, 3:24 in the morning, my mailbox alarm goes off again, and so I jump up and go out to the car and follow this guy. Well, he's right down the road. Because it's not just my mailbox he's stopping at, he's stopping at everyone's. And so now I know. So I went down and followed him, and he cut off the road. Right down the road about a quarter of a mile, turned right. So I turned right, followed him down an empty road that's going to a business, whatever. And he turns around, and he's coming back out. I take the camera out, take some shots. And so he leaves, I turn around and kind of follow him out. And by the time I get out to there, he's gone. He's hitting it. So I went back and reviewed the video and found out that he actually pulled in the driveway. He did the same thing he did when I got behind him. He pulled off the road. Well, he pulled off the road into my driveway. That's the only reason I got his license number. He pulled off the road. So Gail's turned in the license number. Steve suggested, and we'd already figured out, next time we'll just call the cops. Can you call 911 for something like that? That'd be appropriate.
Be worth a try, certainly.
I was going to say, I would think you'd be able to turn that over to the U.S. Post Office because that's a federal violation to touch a mailbox.
It's a federal.
They will go after just having the license plate alone, probably. And
Oh,
Except the first part of the plate wasn't completely clear, the numbers, they were
Yeah,
letters,
two
they were
digits.
like
Only 12 gauge
C
font
and K,
shotgun?
C, X,
Yeah.
you know,
You
and
can check
stuff
both.
like that.
You know
they
the
take it
car
pretty
model
seriously
or-
because like,
What?
Postal
You know
inspector.
the car, what kind of car is.
It was the
Model.
picture's not that good. Pictures weren't
Yeah, it
that
was
good.
something like a
We could identify it.
Elantra or a small Honda.
So,
That's
If
BS,
I
that's
use
right.
those numbers,
I was gonna
that's
say
right
that-
car.
so best
they'll
we'll
consult
just
with
call
the,
the cops next time and say, go get them there on Todd Hunter headed west. And they'll be stopping in mailboxes. They pull off the road if you get behind them.
yeah.
These are mailboxes that are right along the road?
Yep, right, yeah,
How you
when I
get
went to work,
into
there were
the-
probably about a dozen that were still
And
open.
they do
They
sell
don't need to show
license
them.
plate cameras now,
I will-
starting at
I will
about
try to show-
$150. And some of them do.
You are not interested.
They go up to 5,000, 6,000.
But now,
They-
these mount in your car, or they mount
Some of
in the
the stuff
mailbox,
just isn't
or?
They-
working the way it's
both.
supposed to.
Some of them are in the car, some of them are
Well, it worked at home.
mounted
Now.
wherever.
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't want to mount it in your, well, you could
it's
mount it in
the
your mailbox,
typical
looking as he's driving
Works
away.
at home. Why doesn't it work here?
So, but they do have some that are for that purpose, and like there was a 5 megapixel there for $500.
You'd take an old camera out of an old laptop and put it on the back end of your mailbox pointing out.
You have to trigger it when he comes by, motion detect or whatever.
Trigger with the mailbox.
When he opens the door.
And it's got to take pictures. We get in 2 weeks we get like 18,000 cars go by.
Well, I just thought from the standpoint
Yeah,
of
you'd have a trouble sorting out
You'd
which ones
film-
were.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
just
when he
trigger
does
up
the
the
mailbox
mailbox and then
thing, I
start.
got the timestamp.
well, that's what I'm saying. If you had the inside, you had a camera inside the mailbox when they open the door, and you'd only have
Yeah.
the person getting into the mailbox.
The mailbox camera would be either looking. You want to look at the rear because now in Ohio they're trying to pass a no front license plate.
It's already
They did.
passed.
It's already passed. So all these jokers pulling in your driveway.
Only one license plate now. Well,
What is
2020.
the rationale behind that?
They're saving money, millions.
Mhm.
And a lot of other
In-
states
in-
around here don't do it.
Indiana's
So-
one
so-
plate.
Ohio's the only state I ever
Kentucky's
knew
one
that did
plate.
dual plates.
Kentucky's one plate.
Yeah, because we get the Amazon.
But we also have the
deliveries.
cheapest plates just about in the country.
What's that?
I said, and we have about the cheapest plates in the country
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Most
Next.
places
Okay,
are expensive.
Gail, and I'm just
Yeah.
working still busy at work, so.
Yeah, my name's Art LC. I'm the California Silicon Valley representative here. Here 4 months out of the year roughly. Now he'll come. You're Q now. What are you gonna say?
Some rougher than others, or
So what I've been working on here recently is something called a WISE camera. WYZE. This is a $25 camera. It's 1080p. Got a bunch of motion detection software built in. Basically, all you do is plug it in a 5-volt power supply. It's a standard garden variety cell phone charger power supply. Cable plugs into the wall, plugs into the camera. You hook it up to your router. Basically, you have to synchronize it to your router. And if anybody's interested, I'm looking at 8 different cameras here right now. So it's a really good deal. It's one of the best cams, cheap cams I've seen. It's certainly better than most of those that I've gotten off of eBay. And as a security camera, now this does not take wedding pictures. This takes pictures that are somewhat fisheye because of it's 110 degree vision. So, you know, there's no way that doesn't give you a fisheye. But I can both connect to it from my PC on my local area network, and I can also connect to it from my smartphone, Android or iPhone, either one. It's a relatively new company, 2 or 3 years old. It's named WYZE, W-Y-Z-E. Strongly recommended. I figured you're always into cameras.
sure. Put some of that in your folder. Sure.
Okay, put some pictures in. I don't have any of these nifty deer sniffing the camera kind of pictures. I mean, I don't have a lot of deer in my backyard in California, so.
You didn't tell about your drone that came out of the tree.
Oh, my drone that I
Yeah,
lost.
I
last
watched
year.
the video last week. I
Oh.
figured it finally shook loose.
How many months was it?
9 months.
9 months up in the tree.
Yeah, was
No,
that
no,
when those
none of the
tornadoes
worst,
went through?
none.
The worst, the video was fine. It was a little bit wacky going up, a little bit hard to drive, but I think I'm used to that one Vicente gave me. He gave me one that's really nice to drive. This one, if you're going up and forward at the same time, it gets a little wacky sometimes. Still flies, but just acts funny. But it's
So
perfect.
it wasn't damaged at all.
No, the video was perfect.
Yeah, survived the winter.
The crash was documented. When you push the land button and not the home button, it's going to land where it is. Not home means come home and land. Land means land now. But I've got that button covered now.
Is that Chrome?
That sounds like an operator problem. to me.
Yes, it's definitely an operator problem.
I'll go down
So,
to
anyway.
cast.
I'm Barry. I haven't been working on too much, straightening up some stuff and getting ready for some more tinkering here. I got some parts
No, but I
ordered,
need
so
to start to change my.
the
You need to connect
work on the hoverboard project.
Okay.
This one?
Yep.
And then that Frank and
Frank.
Frank
in
just
the
showed
back
up.
there.
Wow. It's the late Frank.
Yes.
Who
made it?
Alright,
So
gotta,
No fuss.
Say your name.
You're gonna make me talk?
yes.
I'm Mark. I've just been working on various projects.
I miss
and
Mark.
Chip away at things. Not,
I don't know what this thing's doing. I don't know why it's doing it.
Well, I have a question regarding cameras. Does anybody have any experience with cameras that use the 5 point whatever gigahertz versus 2.4 gigahertz? All of them-
You mean pixels?
No.
No. Oh, you mean the
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi.
band.
Oh, okay.
All of them I've been able to find are 2.4. I haven't been able to find any 5s.
This is new.
Oh, this is new, different one. Oh, this is
What
different
do-
from the one
what
last
does
one.
your router support? Does your router
came
support?
in
My
both?
router support I want.
12 bucks
Okay.
But
from China.
Try
I
it
haven't
again.
found the camera that will
Try it
support.
again.
So these cameras you have, you say you have 8 of them? Is
I
that-
have 8 of them, yes.
Okay.
The WYZE cameras.
WYZE.
Why?
I don't
Let's say, isn't that
They've got a
Microsoft?
huge community following. They're
I'm using this low.
yeah. And they upgrade their firmware about every month or so.
You
Oh,
said it
sure,
was
you're connected to
1080p
the
for
right
like
router.
$10 or
It was 1080p. It cost $25.
$25 still.
Yeah.
It's $25 with shipping. Okay.
With
Micro
okay.
Center used to have
And does
a
that have,
pull-in
looks
cap
like
on
it has a
for
little pedestal?
We are.
1999.
No way.
Well, without shipping, that's what these go.
I was gonna say, I always
Did you-
wanted to try one, but I didn't know it.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
a big fan of wireless. But
Okay.
it could be.
So let's move along, cause
It's branded. You can use the Chrome browser now. You just right click and say cast.
yeah, if it actually works, Vicente can't get it to work.
No way.
Well, it's because you're using that ThinkPad thing.
Far right.
I don't know.
Click that and do cast.
I think it's the software. I don't think the software is very
Looking for
good anymore.
devices.
I tried all
Devices
the
found.
apps.
Are we connected to the HD router? Check that.
Is he seeing it? Are you able to see the?
He didn't see it. He's going to check his router. Yep, he's connected. Okay, want to try it again? It's upper right, the 3 dots, and cast, and looking for devices. No devices found.
Let me restart the software just
Okay.
completely. Because
You also need to restart.
I saw it on the phone, but that was it. Why are you?
I'm just curious what your little box with the blue light is.
This is a doorbell,
Oh yeah?
and it says doorbell.
Oh, front door.
Front door.
I need to fix my doorbell at some point. Actually, I was going to just put a motion sensor on
There
the
you go.
porch.
Did it show
Let's
up?
see, click on that. Yep, threw it up.
Okay, so maybe it was just needed to be
Now it's
restarted.
casting, and it's going to be probably the screen that you're on now.
And it's over here on the big screen.
Okay, so the tab that you're on, whatever tab that is,
We'll restart.
Oh, we're on Google Home Play.
Okay.
Oh, and it disappeared.
it blew up. Okay.
It
You might have to
disappeared.
reconnect.
Start again.
Did you close that tab?
Yeah, I
Yes.
did.
That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, you
It'll
got
only
the-
cast. It'll only cast the tab that you're
Now,
on.
now there is.
You
Do you
can
see it?
select, do the whole screen, but it's a little more unstable with the whole screen.
It's casting this tab now, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so I've got
Yep.
this one,
Right.
I'm fine.
and then we'll hold. So,
Okay, so we
don't
gotta close
close
it.
so let's go with you, and you can say stuff now.
That's a pretty Google page.
That is a pretty Google page.
How do you get fancy Google pages like that? Mine's just a plain
Can I
white.
switch tabs?
No, well,
I mean,
No.
what do you want to show?
Did,
You want to show the display?
the
go to the other
IDE.
tab, copy the URL, paste it into this one.
You want to show the IDE?
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to cast the desktop then.
Okay.
So
Just disconnect, and then connect back,
I'm gonna.
and then
Vicente wants to show off his new watch and some of his stuff.
we gotta reconnect.
So
Let's see.
we'll
Where's your
we'll
browser?
go with Vicente here for a second while we work on technical difficulties.
Okay, let's do this.
This be Vicente.
And-
Okay.
This is my new watch
Okay, and then sources.
Oh, cool. Binary.
from the deal stream, right? Deal stream.
He had another
Strange.
binary last week too.
But this one has labels on
It's
it.
different, huh?
This
I
is
said this
easier
one
to
has labels
understand.
on it.
Yeah, this one I can actually read.
This is the
The one he has doesn't have them.
free shipping, 12 bucks.
$13.
I think he's ready now.
And you didn't have to wait 5 weeks for it, huh?
I wait 4 weeks.
So where was it shipped in from?
China. Deal stream is from China, Shanghai or whatever. I don't know. Shipping.
Cool.
What are the features of this watch?
It's a
It's
watch that you're probably not gonna buy.
hard to read.
Hard to read.
Hard to read. Best feature ever.
But
This
it's-
is
it's cool.
this is
Binary,
certified.
basically everything
Yeah,
binary,
it's a
right?
geek watch, yeah.
This is
He had another
certified
binary watch.
nerd.
Yes, yes. Absolutely.
That binary watch is actually pretty much similar to the other binary watch, except that it also does date and AM and PM.
AM, date. You have the binary hour here
Yeah.
with 4 bits, and at the bottom binary minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So that says 11:32.
So
No,
it'll be
11:33. 11:33. I can read that one.
You can use it in both hands because the buttons do the same thing. Mode set
really?
and mode set. You know. Interesting.
That's awesome.
This is nice, yeah. I like it.
That's good.
It's the ultimate.
Binary.
Now
It's the
that I
ultimate
understand it,
geeky
it's
thing.
it's nice,
I
yeah.
was gonna say, this is pure nerd.
It's pure nerd. In capital letters, bold.
This is the motor wheel of the hoverboard with the encoders.
Oh,
I
wow.
my 3D printed bracket, right? The name?
The encoder wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the bracket for your, yes.
The plastic bracket.
Yeah, so that's 3D printer.
And do you see this aluminum plate here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's bent in the middle a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday I made them in steel.
Well, you made them out of steel?
Yeah. But here,
More bending.
yeah. Those are made of steel.
And he did it on a real
Is that what you
drill
did
press.
down at Hive 13?
The Hive, yeah. I was using a new machine there for me.
You know, Hive 13's down there, Spring Grove Avenue. Got machines and stuff down there.
This is low.
Yeah.
This is the machine.
That's the drill that you use
Yeah.
down there.
It's a milling machine with digital encoders to know the position of the bench.
Cool.
Well, it's working. Your turn.
His turn.
Okay, he's connected.
He's not connected.
Okay, you might have to reconnect.
Here or what? Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. We've got something. Oh, and I will try to make it bigger. We'll attempt to make it bigger.
If you press it twice, maybe it's not taking it just so you can see.
To cast the desktop, it's still it's checkmarked
can't
for
see.
casting desktop, but it's just casting the tab.
Okay, pull down sources over there. Cast
Just
desktop.
desktop, but
We may have to disconnect and reconnect because it does that when it connects.
just desktop.
Yeah, just disconnect and reconnect.
Still have technical problems. At least it's working.
He's able to connect consistently, so that's good. It's still there.
At least it's working.
Okay, it's reconnected.
No.
You have to
No?
Shift. Yeah.
I'm on the screen.
Yeah. Click on share screen.
And then
There we go. Now I've got it. All right.
Nothing can possibly go wrong now.
We'll show the display first. Which is coming.
One more time. The third time's the charm, right? Isn't that what they say?
Something like
do
that.
this first.
There we go. You're up.
What did you do? What's your learning?
So for the past week, I've been trying to make a sonar detector, which detects objects in front of it up to 40 centimeters away. And I have had a lot of difficulty looking at different codes and different wiring diagrams, but this morning I found one that worked. And here's the code. I didn't write any of it actually. I found it on GitHub by the person who made it, but with Leroy's help, Mr. Miller's help, I was able to understand a lot of it, actually all of it. So, right here, it's the include is referencing the servo library, and these two are giving integers to the trig pin on the ultrasonic sensor and the eco pin. And then right here it's referencing the servo library again. The void setup right here just runs the function once, and the pin mode right here is allotting the trigger pin as the output, and the echo pin is an input. The serial begin right here is telling the processor the processing how fast the data should be transferred at 9600 bits per second, right? And
Can't
then
go faster.
can't go faster.
I said you can.
Oh,
I almost never use
His
that.
processing code's set up for 9600 right
You
now.
mean standard is it?
Yeah.
is it
We're not going-
In general,
we're-
I don't use
Yeah.
9600 bar.
is it better?
It's safer, but when you know the processor works, then you can go a lot faster.
And then the servo.attach is allotting the servo motor to pin 9. The void loop right here is running this whole function in a loop, and this right here is telling the servo motor to run until the servo motor turns to 180 degrees. And then these two are referring back to the servo library, and this one's setting a variable as in the equation. Now, I remember Leroy, Mr. Miller talking about this, but I can't remember what you said. So,
Okay.
I know.
That your processing code
Yep.
is looking for a position, which is the I,
Alright.
and it's looking for a distance to display. And the period is its signal that it has all the data it needs.
Alright.
Is the second line, is that a comma?
There's a comma, so
What
it
does
knows,
that do?
it knows,
Separate it?
yeah. The first number that it gets will be the
Number,
position,
comma,
and
number.
then distance, and then a period signifies the end of that.
And then this bottom part here is just repeating the above portion. Right here. It's just repeating the above portion, except it's going in reverse, so the servo motor moves back from 180 to 0 degrees. Right here, we're going back to the variable of calculate distance, which will be a decimal point, or more accurate because of float. It originally was an integer, but Mr. Miller and I decided to change it to float, so it'd be more accurate.
Hopefully.
Says here in fine print.
And then the digital write portion is referencing the trigger pin, which is output, and it will send a sonar wave out, and we'll wait for a pulse back in, which is right here, and that's where the eco pin comes in, which will sense how long it took to get the sonar wave back. And then right here, the duration from above will be converted into the distance by using the speed of sound divided by 2 equation algorithm, I guess.
You want to just display the screen
Yeah.
now? The processing side?
So this is a processing code with all the lines and arcs. And
I think we just display it now.
Yeah.
That'd be better.
and so,
Let's
Cool.
put my hand.
and then if you put,
So I'm just putting my hand there very close to the sensor. Right, that's coming there on the red.
Cool.
What is the range of the sensor?
40 centimeters.
So you set it up or is
It was originally, it was a default. That's what they put in.
Okay.
Those things are not very slow.
Not actually.
I told him that too. It's all right. This is a good project.
No, you have a good vocabulary already. I was listening to you talk.
The time is because the waiting time for the pulse.
Yeah. Yeah, there's.
So,
This is an old project that he found that he wanted to do. So I think he did a really good job.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to go home and he's going to improve what he just did.
are there any suggestions from the rest of you about
Looks good to
maybe
me.
Looks good to me.
something that maybe I can improve? Maybe
Speed.
Yeah, work on
Well,
speed,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, see if you can make it faster. That's a good test.
Or make it work,
Or more
make it do
intervals.
something real, like when your dad pulls in the garage, make it, close the garage or something when it knows he's there or something.
A buzzer,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if he's gonna hit,
when it's too
tell
close.
it to stop.
Exactly, that's exactly right. Or if he just tries to back out of the garage and the garage door's down.
That could be cool. Put it in a
Apply it to
I
a
mean,
Put
in
it
real
so
wall.
that turn on the light or something when it gets to a
It's not
certain
gonna have a lot of good distance. I mean, like you put your hand in front of it,
yeah.
if you go from there to that wall, it's like nothing.
Yeah. But let's say up to 1 feet or something,
Mhm.
it can.
Actually, yeah.
Maybe that can be tried out. Yeah.
We've seen
good
all the way to the wall here.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
We've
yeah.
seen, we've seen 10, 12, 15 feet before.
They're not.
I
they're
don't know
not.
about the quality of this sensor, because
Yeah.
this is just a.
Even with the cheapo, that's all we've ever used, the $2 ones.
Oh yeah, it is like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You,
I bet, yeah.
you start getting into it, you'll learn to average the
Right.
distance out so you get a real.
Right. If you sample several times and take the average of that data, you can improve the accuracy of that sensor.
I think it's taking the median of it sends it like 30 times in a second.
Okay, right, it's already
So
built.
you're
It's-
taking median
right.
or
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
program it's median? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That would be fun to play with,
Yeah.
and just to increase the speed and see what it does, see what
Okay.
the
Yeah,
effects
well,
are.
You can do it
You know,
right away.
like I said, you can't really break it, so go and change stuff.
And you've got enough description there to know what
Yeah.
Yeah.
what the lines are.
and back here, I was asking Mr. Miller the same question. How would you change make it faster, or change the speed of the servo motor to make it faster?
Can you not reduce the delay 100 milliseconds after every degree? Reduce
You-
the delay, right?
You can
Yes,
do.
where the delay put the 50
Put it
instead
30,
of
see
100.
what happens.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
do that.
Mhm.
Now remember, when you go to upload the sketch, you're going to have to shut the processing down.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be.
Would be three times faster.
Well, there are some mechanical
is
speed
faster,
limitations
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
servo, right?
Pretty good.
Aren't there some mechanical speed
moving
limitations on
Yeah,
the
the
servo?
servo, yeah. But
Yeah, it is faster.
A lot faster.
Mhm.
All right, put your hand in front.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Yep.
Look at that. Good job.
We were talking about instead of doing every
change the
every
speed
degree,
also
you could
from
go every
speed of
fifth
the
degree or
communication.
something.
Yeah, make it look a little smoother.
9600.
150, 200. Right? It's 100,
Yeah.
100.
150, 200.
115 too.
115200.
Yeah. And do the
There
same
you go.
in the processing program.
Yep.
In processing, you have the speed somewhere there.
I don't know.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, do you have?
Yeah, it's up near the serial line, wherever you set the COM port at.
My port, yeah.
There it is, where it says COM 3, 9600.
Yeah.
Change 9600 to the same number.
115200.
What Art said.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna blow it up. Let's see.
Oh, shouldn't-
I don't really know if that's going to make that big of a difference.
No, but there is some buffer thing, you know.
Yeah, blew it up. It's a good idea.
Until it didn't. Now you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can go to some intermediate baud rate too.
Yeah.
Is there like a middle one in between the
19200.
Yeah. 19200 would be good.
Instead of 115, 200.
Yeah, that 19200 should run just fine. Need to make sure you change them both. What you can do is set that up as a macro, then you only have to plug the number in once.
Or define
Yeah,
state
Have it
Yeah.
linked.
baud rate.
There you go.
Have your assumptions outside the code,
Okay, yeah,
and then change it in that area.
There you go.
correct. You can
A
do
macro.
I really don't know if that's moving a whole lot faster.
Well, why it's not
Seems like it is.
continuous.
Could be my
All
imagination.
you got to say is it
It's
looks like
moving. I
something
think
out
it's
of
moving
Aliens.
faster.
All you got to say is, yeah.
Except they used to get dots instead of the motion.
I've got similar code, and I put dots on it instead of the line, and I can't remember how I did it.
It's definitely moving.
That'd be tough, I think, to do that, isn't it?
No, it wasn't that bad, but I just can't remember how I did it.
Hitting me, isn't it?
Any code you wrote over a week ago is gone.
It's on GitHub. That's all I know.
I'm still trying to find code from high or college.
But it's fun to tinker with.
Yeah.
It's on a hard drive somewhere.
And you see, you really can't break it. I mean, you change one thing and it didn't work. Just go back and try something else.
But be sure when you make the changes, you comment the original code out
Yeah.
so you can revert back.
Don't tell him that, Art. Let him,
So you
let him
know
learn
what
it.
you-
Let him
learn the
figure out
hard
the
way.
hard part.
Good luck with that one.
Don't
Yeah.
don't
This
erase
is what I
it.
teach high school kids, and this is what I fight.
Document,
They
document,
don't want to
document.
comment. They don't want to comment. They don't want to comment. And also like the hard code, they don't want to use pound defs or anything like that. So we fight. And
So
sometimes I just
spaghetti.
let them go. Spaghetti.
Spaghetti code.
Spaghetti code, so
You
Why
see-
everybody likes spaghetti?
what the heck you do here? I don't remember.
You see this number up here and this number over here? Now, once you get ready, you could actually figure out how to make that actually readable because it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that happening? Because it's changing so rapidly?
Yes, it's writing over top of itself
Yeah.
basically.
So
Yeah, there you can see that's what it's
yeah,
doing.
a lot of things. Okay.
Yeah.
This thing is because the broadcasting, because in the laptop is continuous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look, it's really just writing over top of itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Digits on even the laptop are not clear, you're
Yeah.
right. Because they're writing on themselves and there's a delay or
And but what that's going to cause it to happen is if you slowed that
So it's
down,
in
you're
range
going to
there,
slow
but
down
then when you move.
the sweep too.
Yep.
Okay.
And the software hasn't blown it.
And the software hasn't blown up.
That's amazing.
But
Are we at 19.2 now?
yeah.
Yep.
But you could play with all that and try to figure out
you can
new
change
stuff.
and see what difference it make, right? And maybe bring your findings then, kind of the research. Okay.
Cool, thank
And
you.
there's weird,
Good
there's
job.
weird,
Do you have
weird
anything else to
character
ask?
encoding happening.
What weird character?
I
That
think
weird
this was a
A
good starter
thing.
project.
That's
but
an angstrom
to learn
mark.
more of the basics of
Oh.
computer
A with a
science
dot
and
over the
computer
top
coding is
means
something I
angstroms.
should do.
Okay.
For you older guys or younger guys, that's 1/10 of a nanometer. An angstrom is 1/10 of a nanometer.
And I think
Why
even
would-
with
why would
Arduino,
that be-
you just in
Why
doing that
would we
one
need
project,
to
you got to
display
Pardon?
that up there on that
vocabulary,
screen?
which
I have no idea why they put it there.
more and more and more.
All I know is what the
I-
symbol
project-
means.
So
I
that
always
was the
thought that-
differential between,
I always thought that that was just some weird encoding problem. I took it out
Okay.
of it out of
You
the
have
code I
time to be a
had.
computer scientist, and
Well,
on your own.
How to learn that?
That's what that symbol
Most
means.
of it's
But they've just popped that symbol in there for some reason.
And most
Probably
of it's
angle
just by
or-
digging on
They-
your own.
they probably
Actually,
use it to-
you're
how
not
many-
really taught this stuff.
the
You get
distance
really
back and
interested
forth
in
in
it, do a lot
angstroms.
of research, you try things.
Yeah.
you ask friends,
Physicists
'cause I
from
have like
my
a
era
16-year-old
used
now
angstroms,
who,
not
he
nanometers.
does all
So.
kinds of things. And he'll go- He wants to do machine
Well,
learning.
I'm
He'll go
sure
do
that there was a
stuff.
reason why it was there, but I thought it was just an encoding error.
My
That's how
guess,
you pick up the
my guess
language.
is
You're
they
really
just
interested
pulled
now.
up that symbol for some
Your
reason.
vocabulary is going to grow.
They
because
just
you're
thought it was
interested.
cool.
Now, what I will tell you
Could've
is
been.
that over time, senioritis might sink in. Like as kids get into it, sometimes they take a drop off. But if you're really interested in it, it comes back. You learn most of it yourself.
Trial and error, huh?
Yeah. So one of the things I would suggest is that to take yourself to the next level is to have a solution in mind. Because once you have a project in mind, it directs you in that direction. So you're gonna run into problems, and then you're gonna have to solve those problems. You get on the internet, get into some users group, ask the question.
He's
they'll give you an answer
at a
back.
user group right now.
Well,
Yeah,
like-
right. I'm not sure we didn't just get dissed.
Just wonder if you wanna
I'm going,
increase your
wait,
learning. Just
what are
increase
we?
your learning by, no,
Chopped liver.
we got them started. Well, what do you do when you're at home?
I look on the internet.
So I mean, that's if you have something that you're shooting for, because that what'll happen is you've done this, okay, you've sort of done the basics. Now what can you do with it? If you take it to the next level, you're gonna run into real problems. It's like, dang it, this thing in the real world. Because once you start testing it, you say, oh, I thought it was gonna do this. Just like we were saying that maybe the sample rate's not fast enough.
Actually, what you are alluding to will bring me to one of the topics that I wanted to talk about. So, me and Vicente have been playing around with WhatsApp
Okay.
Yeah.
and Telegram.
It's Telegram.
It's a WhatsApp kind of thing, but
Clone.
in my own personal opinion, I think it's a little bit more hacker friendly than WhatsApp. We've set up a group on both apps, and I actually shared the links to both of them. And I don't.
It's called Telegraph.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two groups that, you know, if Vicente WhatsApps me or telegraphs me, it comes right to my phone and we could just chat right there. I think it solves one of the problems of
Internal communication.
internal communication. It doesn't solve the
The public facing thing.
Oh,
yeah.
WhatsApp, okay.
We need to decide which one we like better.
Yeah.
And I think Vicente's
like
leaning towards WhatsApp, and I'm leaning towards Telegram. But I don't care. I don't care. Whatever we decide
You use
is the one
WhatsApp
that we're
for all
going to
your
use.
So how does that improve this improvement over what we were using before?
yeah.
it still exists.
It's no, not the Google, not the Google Plus, but
WhatsApp and Telegram probably will be around for a while because they've got a huge user base, both of them.
There's some really nice vulnerabilities in WhatsApp.
what was the name of the other program? I forgot the name of it.
Telegram, WhatsApp.
No, the other, not
The old one.
the one, not the super old, not the Google, the one, the
Yanko?
Yanko, yeah.
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 104, okay.
Is it an improvement over that, or is it?
Where's
Well,
this group located?
For community, for group chat, it's definitely an improvement.
Okay,
I think the reason why we're
okay.
going away from Yonko is because pictures are not easy to
Okay.
do
Okay.
on Yonko.
Okay.
As much as I liked Yonko,
Right.
pictures are just horrible there. So, you know, it's that was a okay interim kind of testing sort of
Yeah.
thing. That
Oh, yeah.
So you think this is actually a better?
well, I actually I like the idea of
Your son.
us being able to communicate throughout the week if we need to.
Beautiful dog.
It still doesn't solve the problem of what to do with the public, but
Yeah. Well, send me the link. Oh, it's on there. You got it already.
Vicente's WhatsApp and Telegram, I suggest signing up first before you click on the links, because otherwise, apparently there's some weird issue with not being able to join the room unless you're already signed up. So, I suggest signing up first before you click the link. But both of these have web components, and both of them have apps.
Think you ever use Google Hangouts?
I thought Hangouts had died.
Yeah, we are
I
talking
still
about
use it every
using
day.
WhatsApp or
Really?
Telegram for
I thought
collaboration.
I thought it had gone.
chat.
I
I
didn't
thought
know
it
if
had
it was
gone
going
the
to
way
survive
of-
or not, but so far it still works.
And you suggested using a
So-
public another tool for revision
Sort of. I can try to.
and social
Let me
media.
bring a.
Come up here, Jeremy.
It's not
You're
so
a young
much.
man.
It's not so much.
Did it come down?
I'm more worried about pulling that off of there.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's okay then. So that's fine.
Yeah.
No, you can if you want to
Wonderful.
swing the chair around that way.
Oh,
we
he's
could-
good.
We're good.
Okay.
Okay. So actually, I was going to talk about that at the end of the meeting, but since you had said something, there we are.
Let me hand out a project.
Yes, you hand out a project.
This is I teach, I have a computer camp, and one of the things that I teach the kids in the computer camp is Arduino. And this is one of the projects. I usually use, I don't use Mega, except this demo has a Mega. And I have a box. It's just LEDs, it's got resistors in it. If you put a high on any of these pins, the lights will come on. And it has one black for ground. So you can write a program, you know how a stoplight works, right? You can write a program to sequence this so that it works like a regular stoplight. This is what this one is. Now I can also flip the switch. I have a detector switch. I can flip the switch. And then I can go into test mode and it tests the light. So first it runs in regular mode and runs as a stoplight. And then you flip the switch and it'll go to regular stoplight mode. It's a good logic kind of exercise. And you use the same digital rights that you use in that program to turn things on and off. But it's a good organizing exercise. Now I gave you some code, but that code's for an Arduino. It's not going to work for your processor, but it does give you an idea of how to organize it. I have 18 of these things, so bring it back whenever. It's just an LED, and it's marked with front, rear, just as the organization of the light.
Question?
Yes.
How come your green light's in the center, not at the bottom?
I messed up. And the kids never asked.
And the kids never asked.
I know better.
It just makes you have to be more organized.
I thought maybe he came from a parallel universe somewhere or something.
They
You
have
know?
different lights.
Oh yeah, sliders.
Sliders, where they used.
They did do that in some world, yeah.
The red light was go and the green light was stop. Yeah.
That would cause
Yeah, I
havoc.
did them all the same way. Yeah.
Only if you were from the wrong universe.
Parallel universe. That's what
Parallel
it says.
unit. That's your excuse.
Or-
I gave you the excuse as to
Or
why.
there's the taxi cab driver in Boston who, you know, only runs the lights that are red
Yeah.
because he stops for the green ones because his brother was driving.
Cindy Bears?
Well, my
Yeah,
dad,
clean.
my dad was colorblind and he couldn't tell red from green. So if we were wearing a green shirt, he thought it was red. If we were wearing a red shirt, he thought it was green. So I don't know how he ever got through the lights, but
He just got used to it.
got used to it. But what does that really mean?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, he knows
The
the top.
top, bottom, some were sideways, you know. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
confusing.
You want to go ahead with
Oh, okay.
with your stuff?
So, I think we can pass this around. So, the idea is, you know, do all these experiments, you gotta handle liquids and be able to move around. This is a peristaltic pump, so the idea is, I plug this into our Arduino Mega board, and then I send G code to the Arduino that controls the position of this. So, you know, fluid can come in one side of the tube and out the other, so there's bearings inside there. I 3D designed this plastic
Okay.
pieces here, so you can play around with that if you
So is
want.
that reversible or is
Yeah, it can pump both ways.
I get it. I got it. I see what's going on.
It's really easy. This is another thing I've been working on. You can actually test this. You can be my testers if you want. It's what I want to be able to do is pass around syringes from one area to another. So this is, I had to build something to pick up and drop off syringes. So the idea is this is going to sit on the bed of a 3D printer, and it moves in and out, and then you can pass. This carries the syringes, and then you can either push it in all the way, you hear a click, and then it drops it off. So it's coupled with this, or you just put it in like that, and then it's coupled with the other one. So you got it? You want to play with it?
What is the purpose of it?
This carries syringes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
Why
you
are
wanna
we
move it
why are
around
we carrying syringes?
to do biology experiments.
Just what now?
To do biology experiments.
Oh, okay. And where are you doing biology experiments?
Where?
Yeah, just
Wherever
because.
you want, wherever you want.
Yeah.
You could, you know, something. Hopefully, eventually, like high school students could use it.
Oh, okay.
College students,
Yeah.
whoever's interested in.
So-
Well, in general, it could be anything, any
Yeah.
type of liquid thing.
But
that
what
you-
we're getting at, what I'm getting at is that why are you doing this? It's always like why? What's the motivation? Yeah.
Biology is cool, interesting. I want to be able to.
Oh, okay. Are you? I mean, you're a teacher or
No.
no?
I think he's coming
Engineer.
from a solution
Robotics.
perspective, you know.
Robotics engineer.
Okay.
Engineer,
Okay.
robotics.
Precision.
Oh, okay. So I'm just-
It's an interesting.
excuse?
It's cool. That's the best excuse.
because
Yeah,
Next
Marcus.
generation.
you know me, I'm always trying to. What's the?
You know you're not supposed to ask me why.
I know.
Don't ask him why.
Apparently, I know that now. Okay.
He wants to know the bottom line. What are we getting?
I do. That's like okay.
So,
What's
you
the
know,
motivation
it's,
behind this?
It's
You trying to make
It's open
money,
source.
or are you just trying to?
based on our.
Making better hallucinogens.
So have you tested this peristaltic pump?
Yeah.
What were you pumping with it?
Just colored water.
So it's a fairly low viscosity liquid then.
I haven't really tested it with high viscosity. I mean,
Like
there could be
molasses or
issues.
something like
No,
that?
Can be
I
used
think it
for
could, but I think there
chocolate
could be
Put
issues.
honey on your pancakes.
Hershey's syrup.
It could
I mean,
pump out-
one thing
pump it out
eventually I
and
want to
then
do is put a pressure sensor in there.
Put it on a servo.
The
What,
tube is,
what,
is
what do you
silicone,
want to
the tube
pump?
is-
Then what was your idea of pumping? What?
That's actually kind of cool.
Any type of
Okay.
fluid that you
Yeah.
might do biology. Well, and
Plasma.
even beer.
Hmm.
Like beer is beer
That's
making
kind of a-
is
that's
a
kind of a
biology
small
experiment.
tube
There's
you're supposed
actually
to
a
do.
lot
There's
of-
the fermentation.
Well, actually, the yeast is what they use in microbiology because yeast cells are.
That's kind of cool.
It's,
all the
it's,
sugar.
well, it's the simplest organism that has the same chromosome type as humans, as
I didn't-
animals.
You're getting deep, but I like it.
But that's why they use yeast. So
Okay.
beer making and microbiology are very similar.
Okay.
Sciences.
I didn't know that. You're illuminating me.
Yeah.
So I'm taking I'm taking a deep dive and you're brewing beer off of your 3D printer. That's
be.
it, huh?
It could be one of the applications. Yeah.
So the yeast cell has a
That's
primary basis, just like in our bodies, you're saying?
Primary chromosomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one chromosome.
Okay.
Whereas we're 23.
23andMe.
Supposedly we make beer inside our bodies every 24 hours or something.
What do you have inside rollers?
I've
or-
known some guys like
Parents.
that. When I was in college.
Does the lipid come in touch with the metal or something inside?
No, it's a tube. You see the tube there? It's just
And
the
the
bearings
tube?
squeeze the tube. The bearings roll against the tube.
It squeezes the
tubes.
tube and runs it around a circle. It's called a
Okay.
peristaltic pump.
So
The
it's
tube is
positive
silicone or?
displacement generally.
It's
Yeah.
like medical.
I
I'm
think they
not
use
sure.
it
It's
like
not
when they
medical. That's medical
recirculate,
grade
It's,
tubing.
It's very
Blood.
blood.
Yeah, yeah.
In hospitals, you see it quite often, peristaltic. So
you
they,
were-
it's very sanitary because you have
Right,
a tube.
that's how
But what,
You have
what,
a tube,
what's
and
maximum
then when
flow
you're done with
you,
it,
you
throw
reach
that
with
tube
this?
away.
I haven't measured it.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
If that's smaller tube, it's gonna be pretty small.
That tube, for
Perfect.
instance, if it's used, then
Well,
yeah,
when
unless
it's
it's really
finished, you
cheap
throw
to
that
their
tube
speed.
away and put a new tube there, so it's
It's not
even
sterile.
It's called
sanitary with a fresh tube.
peristaltic pump.
You need a little
Snug.
motor driver, and the driver is like an amplifier, and it changes. This is a bipolar thing, so there's two different ways that the windings can go. So it works a little bit different than your servo motor.
Yeah.
But if you get the right Arduino board, it's just all you're doing is sending commands to them.
Yeah.
Basically, you just take the stepper motor library and plug it in.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
not
piece
it's
is
not
all
any
3D
harder to
printed,
use.
right?
It's
Yeah,
just
I've designed these two plastic.
you need a little
You have
amplifier for it,
a
a little
diagram from
little
inside
driver
or
usually.
something? I want to see how those
Unless it
gears,
happens to be
are
built in.
squeezing the tube and
It's just bearings.
It's just think of a pencil rolling down
Yeah,
a
yeah,
flexible
they're rolling
tube.
down.
Then they squeeze.
Doesn't take much to amuse me, evidently.
It doesn't take much to amuse me either.
There's a chair over there. I've been sitting on.
I just
Me
like
too.
this.
Stand up.
Syringes or.
Got a heck of a crowd today, man.
Yeah, lots of people today.
In there, yeah.
People like my leadership abilities or
So you
something.
put the syringes in here, Sean?
Any what?
Syringe be sitting.
Go, yes.
And
essentially it comes out.
So you got it.
what's the advantage of you put it in here to?
Well,
It's
we
a
can
holder,
deliver it, we can
seven
deliver it, like you push it in all the way,
Yeah.
and you're delivering it. And then if you push it in the middle, then that's how you pick it up.
And the idea is to have several, maybe a line and pick the different,
Syringes, yeah.
you have several.
Move syringes around.
Don't ask questions.
Can you design that?
We gotta zero into what he's actually
Ask
doing.
answers.
Or I printed that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's ABS plastic. With the printed that with the rep.
Cool. I have no particular use for that, but that is cool.
Rick, how long did it take you to print that?
All those pieces like that
Yeah.
would take maybe 2 or 3 hours.
So it's pretty intricate.
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's intricate.
I have an XYZ printer, and it doesn't print that good, so I'm always envious when I see stuff like that.
Well, that's only a $200 printer.
Wow.
Yeah, printing technology has gotten way better since we played around with those
When Steve brought
XYZs.
his in, that was about 800.
Oh,
Wasn't his $800?
Yeah, and I
It's
can't
all-
tell
it's-
much
you have
difference
to buy,
from what he prints
I found
to,
the
and
keys
what
in
I
the
print on my
It's not the
$150
printer, it's the
printer.
nozzle. You
And
have
that
to
was
buy
what,
the
a year ago from
Yeah, but this
Czechoslovakia?
is
When
great.
Czechoslovakia?
What was the?
You'd make a
Four or
mold.
five
If you
months
went to
ago.
the production, the name
The
of that-
printer I use? We could buy it's based off of the Prusa, but it's open source rep wrap.
So that's very
We
similar.
used the printer in the library a couple of times.
You think he
Oh,
used that as a-
I mean,
speaking
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
speaking of,
Yeah.
my dad works at the Middletown branch, he shared with me a big secret that nobody's supposed to know yet. They're converting that computer lab that's surrounded with the glass into a makerspace.
Here?
3D printers,
What, the
laser
library?
cutters.
Down at the library on
Oh,
Broad Street?
No, here.
Here. Oh, that.
Nobody's supposed to know it yet, so keep it on.
We don't know anything.
You don't know anything, Internet.
I don't know.
We know nothing.
They, I guess they're still finalizing the plans for it, but coming soon. We should see signs up that say, "Coming soon, make your makerspace."
Here.
Here.
So is Middletown part of the midpoint?
Yeah.
That's the name of it.
Middletown was actually the first midpoint.
Okay.
Trenton's a part
This
of it.
one's a better midpoint.
Trenton's part of it, Monroe.
Anybody else got
Oxford, I think.
any projects? Anybody want to see my project?
Yes.
Yes.
We have a choice.
No, because I'm going to show you my project anyway. All right. Mine is actually, it's another MQTT. What? Why did it do that? Anyway. So there's really not a whole lot special about the actual MQQT part of it. Do I need to go through and explain what MQTT is again, or does everybody?
Do an overlook. Do a broad overlook.
Okay.
What is it in one sentence or less?
One sentence or less.
Right.
Very broad.
It's a messaging protocol. It's a publish, subscribe kind of protocol that was designed a long time ago, and it works wonderful for the Internet of Things. Put that back. So in this project, I actually was trying to do something else, and realized that what I was doing would actually work good for other things. But nice. I'm using a LED matrix, 4x4 LED matrix, and a ESP 8266 D1 mini inside of here. My original idea was to give one of these devices to someone, and then we could just get on the ESP 8266's website and send a message saying I'm home, or I'm thinking of you, or whatever, and then it would,
Answer the WhatsApp.
yeah, and then it would say, oh yeah, I answer the WhatsApp, and then the two devices could be like a we're thinking of you kind of thing from across the world.
Right. Placement to Morse code tapper.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, I decided that I wanted to do over-the-air updates, and I wanted to make it really, really easy for somebody who's not technical to actually set this up. So, that is where this project actually, why I thought I would actually show this project, because it's really simple to do over-the-air updates with this thing. There are, and then I did a configuration file that can also be updated over the air. So the configuration file, what did it just say? What?
JSON is not liked.
There we go. the configuration file looks like this, and it's just a JSON file. So that can also be updated over the air. So if we need to make, like, the original code can just live on the thing, and if we want to change the name of this device or this device, we just change it. If for some reason our broker goes away and we don't need it or can't use it anymore, we just change it. So we see here, this device is called Leroy's LED Matrix. I can just change that and re-upload just the configuration file, not the whole thing. And there's a special tool that you need to do that. It's called the ESP8266 data tool. And you set up the CIFS file system, the SPIFF file system, and it's a piece of cake. So first, I think I'm going to show you how this actually works. This device is called Doorbell. This device is called Leroy's LED Matrix, and the topic that we're publishing to has my name in it. So we're publishing to the Leroy device. And if I hit my doorbell, which plays my nifty little doorbell song, it says front door, or it should say front door.
Yes.
And we could do that many, many, many times. So let's say I want, for some reason, to change. I don't want it to be on the Leroy topic anymore. I want it to be on the what's a good topic? ATC
There you go.
topic. So we just save that, and unfortunately you've got to do it twice because it's also in it's in this one too. There's two different sketches running because the doorbell works a little bit different. So we could change this to ATC, and we save it. Now we know that we need to do that over the air because this is not connected to the computer. So we're going to look for the COM port that says Leroy's LED Matrix, and we're going to go and we're going to say upload. And what is it doing? I haven't done this on this machine. Oh, yes, we will allow access. Yes, allow the access. Oh, and it failed probably because I didn't allow the access fast enough. And hopefully it actually works. It takes it a few minutes to do
Can
this.
change any file in the system?
Yeah, I can change anything.
Now, what makes the configuration file different than your code? Okay, because you can. What's the difference between the two? Since you're focusing that you can change the configuration file, which also I guess you could also have the your IP address or
your SSID.
SSID, yeah.
Yeah, all that could be put in there. I didn't do that on this particular configuration file, but the configuration file lives in the SPIFF file system. So as long as, oh, maybe that's why it failed. Nope, it's enabled. So as long as you've got your file system enabled, it'll put that code in there without disturbing the other code. And I'm using the Wi-Fi manager to handle connecting to the internet. That also lives in the SPIFF, but the over-the-air updates manage where the SSID are stored and where these files are stored. And I have given it, this file is very, very, very small. I have given it way more room than it really needs to do it. We can also, I've selected that, so if, oh, we missed it, it says uploading and it's done. So I didn't re-upload it to this, so now this is still publishing to the Leroy topic and this is on the ATC topic. But if you need to make like actual changes to the code, you can do the same thing. And if this is saying in a different room or whatever, so I'm going to go ahead and for this one is actually connected to the computer, but I could do it over the air if I wanted to. And I'm going to, and it should be done. Should reboot. It should reboot, and it should say, when it comes back online, it should say doorbell online.
Both of these on the same router, right?
They don't have to be, but they are for this particular, in this particular case.
Suppose you wanted it a different location. You wanted it to be at the library in Middletown.
If I wanted to do the updates,
Yeah.
okay, there is a web interface where you can log into it, and then you can upload a new file via over the web to it. That means that you would also probably have to open your router port or whatever from somewhere. And I'm not using any kind of password protection or anything right now because it's all on one network. But if you were going to do that, you'd want to enable the password. There's actually the over-the-air library provides a way to do it with a password.
It's getting close to the Proton ecosystem or something?
Oh, not really. Sorta. So it just reset. So did it work? Oh. This has been this little doorbell has been giving me a hard time ever since I got here today. Are you aware of the last will and testament that MQTT can do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last will and testament of MQTT, if a device goes offline and you've got your last will set up, it will broadcast a message out that says whatever.
It changed.
Yeah. So, did it?
It'll tell you.
There it goes. So, so like if you had a battery operated device out in there, when if it goes offline, you could just say, "Come and replace the battery," or "I'm dead," or whatever. You know what it means. So now we're on the same topic again, and it was just, other than having to reboot this stupid thing, it was just that simple.
Where is the broker? The computer?
No, I'm using HiveMQ right now for the broker, just because.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of ones and zeros because I hit the button too fast.
Yeah.
So the ones and zeros are actually how it displays the picture of the bell, and it wasn't ready.
So that strings of ones and zeros should have been the bell.
It should have been the bell. And it wasn't ready. It was still doing something else when I hit the button. So
And I think to Frank's question is that he was saying if it's in Middletown, if it's here, just so long as you're accessing the same broker.
The same
So,
broker?
And the broker's in, you know, on the internet somewhere, so it has access. Now, I use it locally, so now locally you have to be basically on the same
Broker.
wireless network. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yes, as long as your broker is out there somewhere,
You need to be able to get to
both
your broker.
devices can connect to that broker,
You can do it anywhere you go.
it doesn't really matter. So if I've just killed this, it should pop up here in a couple seconds and say that it's dead and it's defunct and it's offline.
Yep.
Nice. Very nice.
So that basically means that if I was running this on a battery, if I just stuck this at the door and was running it on a battery, it means, hey, come and replace my battery.
Don't do that. That's a good idea.
Which I thought was a good use, especially if you're out in the field or whatever. You name your device and you just have it broadcast its name and say battery's dead or.
Yeah, and to that, so what I typically do is I broadcast the battery, the voltage of the battery.
Yeah.
So once it gets below a point, it'll say, okay, the battery's getting dead. So it's not last will and testament. It's saying, okay, you probably ought to come change me here,
Right.
here soon because I'm gonna die.
Right.
So,
Well, but you could not worry about it and just say,
yeah, exactly.
I'm dead. Come and fix me.
I like that. Yeah. I do the preventative maintenance thing.
Yeah.
AI data mining.
The sketch that I actually found this sketch on Thingiverse while I was looking for a case. The case that I found was not the case that I used, or the case that had the sketch was not the case that I used. I used a different case, but I'm like, I really like how this sketch works, and I started playing with it, and I went, okay, what can I do now? Because it didn't display anything at all, and I added the clock because I'm like, okay, I've got 4 digits to play with, and if this thing's just sitting on my desk, I want it to actually do something. So the clock is an NTP based clock, so it's getting its time from the time server, so it's going to be pretty accurate. It checks the time every 10 seconds or so. It'll pick up a new time, so it should be pretty accurate. The only thing that I noticed is when I actually started playing with it and you hit the doorbell button too fast, it does that thing. But I'll pass around some junk. That's the matrix I use. That's another case I haven't put together yet. This is my doorbell. The battery seems a little low, but you guys can plug the battery in if you want and plug it
How much
in.
does the matrix cost?
$4.
How long did it take to get? I'm just kidding.
22 days. $5.90.
Maybe there are cheaper.
It's
How
a
No, but there are
it's a SPI matrix. It's actually pretty simple to set up and use.
That's nice. Very nice.
How long does the doorbell battery last?
Not very long,
Oh.
because I was playing with it yesterday and I thought it was still charged.
Right.
I think that's causing the problem today. Yeah, $3.90, $4
Free shipping.
with free shipping. Yeah, I thought I paid about $4 for it. I think I got those off of eBay. Those LED matrices.
You can use.
Are we set up for Chromecast right now?
Would you like to Chromecast?
Yeah, sure.
You got-
See,
you
CR,
got 3 minutes?
I
2
actually
minutes, 1
was
minute, 2 minutes.
recording the screen, and then when I started talking, I forgot to record the screen.
No.
You can Chromecast if you'd like.
All right.
This way.
involved in it in a while. Buying mode.
Where'd it go? That away.
Is it going?
No. What the?
Says
I saw it. There it is. There it is.
Do you have a file for this case?
Yeah. I can.
Something-
Oh, the GitHub repository?
Something that will print on XYZ.
Oh.
You've already printed it.
I'm gonna go desktop.
The repository that I got,
That you got this from Thingiverse.
I got it from
Okay.
Thingiverse.
All right.
But the repository, I shared the repository and the code on GitHub, and there are links to the STL files
Okay.
and the original code. One thing I had to do is I had to take the matrix apart and take a little bit of sandpaper and sand all four sides off to actually get it to fit in the hole right. But
And now it should be.
you know, overall, I think it's actually a better fit because it's actually in there pretty tight. But it was kind of a pain to get it to fit because I had to sand everything to get it to. And it wasn't just all four sides of the outside. I had to sand,
All right.
you know,
So
All around.
all of them because they don't fit real well. Okay, you're up.
all right. So I have a little Arduino Teensy here. And
Ooh.
well, I didn't really do anything that much physically to it. It's a Teensy with a dip switch on it. Which the only reason I put a dip switch on there is because I can switch it on and off, so I don't have to deal with what this thing does when I try to program it. So what this does is, well, it sends keystrokes. So I'm gonna plug this thing in, and I'm doing things on my desktop. I find this thing and I plug it in. So this is very, really short. Hopefully this works. Pretend this is a mouse.
Yeah, I know.
Plug this in. There's no storage. But wait, it's doing something. It's opening up my terminal, and it's like opening up the text editor. And that's what it does for now. So
This is why you don't plug in straight USB devices.
It's got a program in there that sends keystrokes to open stuff up.
yeah.
And it's just like standard stuff that you want to open up and get it done.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
The bad guy.
And
That's what
somebody
that
else's
is.
computer with
Yeah, he's a
different
security.
stuff in it.
I can show you real quick what this does. I didn't really do anything particularly.
Delete star dash star.
Crazy with this. So I'm gonna open up the
Format
script.
MBR.
And
That
this
little-
thing wants to come up.
That little nick right there is where I pulled it off of the print bed too hard.
Oh, I thought you stuck your finger through it or something.
I was using a spatula to try to get it off, and I pried it up.
This is pretty straightforward. So like that. So all I have in here is just some numbers for all the dip switches, just so I can actually use the dip switches, so I don't have to deal with it doing that every time I plug it in. This has a little function to initialize dip switches. And
Oh, there it is. He's still there.
okay. And there's just a little like thing here. I ended up just copying this off of a different script. It just clears all the keys. There's just a test. And there's the script. This is the script I ended up plugging in with. It's just call it Ubuntu open terminal. And basically what it's doing is just using little keyboard commands. You can send Teensy. So it's just click a couple times, check if you're alive. Terminal. also have one in here for Windows.
You have one for Windows. Windows deserves its own.
Windows deserves its own.
Is that Frank talking to you?
Here's the setup. So basically, just have it set up so if I flip one div switch, it does the run2 script. If I flip the second div switch, it uses the Windows script. And if I don't do anything, it just blinks and checks that it's alive. And that's pretty much it. It can't really see anything. All it does is go down through the script and put in whatever keyboard keystrokes you put into the script.
But you see you security guy, right?
No.
You see the danger in that.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
That's the intent, to show you the danger.
He's not the security guy, he's the bad guy.
This is the scare people straight demo.
So that's right. Don't plug in US